So that's the offensive line progression that we use. Now on the defensive line, we start out with a 6-point explosion drill. Basically what they are is they're on their knees. So they're going to start out on their knees, and all they're going to do is, the defensive lineman is on his knees, the holder's right across from him, and they're going to come up and they're going to blow up right in the chest. And we kind of do the same thing that the offensive line do. We'll punch on the inside and we'll punch on the outside. And that's out of a 6-point explosion drill. Then we get them up and we put them in a 2-point, and we go through the same progression. So we're going to punch underneath the chest, then we're going to punch on the inside, and then we're going to punch on the outside. The next one we go to is they're back down on their knees, and what we're going to have them do is now we're going to start working on our rip techniques. We play a lot of slant and angle in our scheme. I don't know what everyone's schemes are, but one of the things that we stress for our defensive linemen is learn your skill and learn your craft. I don't give a damn what the offensive line is going to do. I really don't care. We prepare the kids for what they're going to see, but our philosophy is if you do your technique and your fundamentals better than they do, it doesn't matter what they run. Because our job is to get in, get off, and get on and get onto the ball. So we don't want to mess with these guys too much. So we're doing a lot of striking in close quarters. So coach, I need to borrow you again. And we very rarely ever go to a head-up position, but we always start everything in a head-up, and then we'll move to the left and then to the right. We move to the left first because we want to make sure that they're not natural going to their left, so we want to make sure that we get them to be natural going to their left where it's uncomfortable. We like to put our kids in uncomfortable positions so they know how it feels when they're into it. So after we go through the 6-point on this stuff, then we'll come to the 2-point. So basically, if the kid is on this shoulder, we're going to work this and already tell them there are 3 points of striking. 1, wrist, 2, elbow, 3, shoulder. Your lever is much looser down here than it is up here. So we tell our kids right off the bat, I want you to strike at about a 1.5, which means they're going to take their offhand and on the snap of the ball, because we do everything with movement, ball goes, boom. They're hitting it right there. Now, what we can see is as I'm watching it, because we go through this and we rep fast. So there's no switching back and forth because all the kids got to do is hand a dummy to the other kid and then we can go again. So once they step, boom, right there. All right, hey, you're a little higher at that elbow. We don't want them getting up in here. This doesn't move very far. We want them to strike where the lever's loose, okay? So we start on the outside, then we'll go to the inside and we'll work a rip or what we call a snake technique. So if they're working the rip, we want to make sure they flip their hips, boom, pad level's nice and low. Now they're going to come through with their rip. Or if they're going to snake, same thing. We want to make sure that we're hitting it at the extent of the joint, boom, and then they're going to come over the top of the pad and be able to do their snake move. So we rep that over and over again. After we do that, that's great, Coach. When we're done with that, then we go into our, taking on double teams and then also taking on trap blocks. And the great thing about this is, with this, I can stand there or I can have a kid stand there and I can see if we're taking on let's say we're taking on a trap and we're squeezing. When we're squeezing, I want to make sure that that elbow or forearm is going right underneath this guy's arms. All right? So the guy comes down on a trap block, he's right here, we're going to squeeze on the inside, he's going to blow this up. If he's got that natural extension, if he's too high, he's going to be above the arms. If he's in perfect position, he's going to be nice and low, so it makes us check for pad level. On a long trap, and I don't know, we teach a wrong arm technique, so the guy's basically backed off the ball a little bit. He's going to start coming down. Now our outside guy is going to be coming in on a wrong arm technique. I'm going to tell him, I want you to rip underneath this arm. And the old, the technique used to be you want to rip right through that guy's leg, through his knee. What we're telling our guys is, I want you to rip underneath this arm to spill this to the outside. So we've got a short trap on one side, we've got a long trap on the other side, and the kids alternate as they go around. So you can get through a lot of your technique, and we do the same thing every single day. It starts out with bags, and then we start going to our 6-point, we start going through our progression. I don't even really have to be at practice because the kids know what we do every single day. And we stress pad level and violence. That's the main thing I stress every single day. You can't Be real violent if you're standing up. You gotta make sure you're lower than the other guy. This gives me the ability to adjust my pad level with the kids. So we get a chance to work on those fundamentals and techniques every day. So after we get done working on our run game stuff, then we go into pass. Pass rush is pretty much the same thing that we just did before of our 2-point position. We're gonna work the rip, we're gonna work the snake, and then we're gonna work a 1-arm post, and then maybe some arm bar stuff. We do a lot of stuff where we're grabbing underneath. So let's say the offensive lineman's got positioned with his hands right here. We'll do stuff with, we want to make sure they get to an edge. They're going to grab this inside joint right here at the elbow and pull. Now if you're doing that live with a kid, they're going to pop someone's elbow. I don't care if they pop someone's elbow on a Friday night, I just want them to be my own guys. So we do a lot of our hand-to-hand stuff with these, just because they can rep faster and the risk of injury is minimal. I know I've had a couple kids get hit in the eye, through their helmet. So, and it's not to say it's 100% injury-free, but it does happen, but it allows them to go full speed, which is what I want them to do. So once we go through our basic pass progression, then we get into some drills that you'll be able to see on the video or on the website. The first drill that we do is what we call the circle, and you guys have, a lot of you guys have the big rings, right? You got the big hula hoop. You might have the big hula hoop you can use just about anything, but basically it's just a big piece of rubber. Go to your local fire department and ask them if they have an old hose. They'll give you an old hose, you can cut it to length, 12 foot wide, and make a circle. We put a guy on the inside with the bag. So he's on the inside right here with the bag. And our D lineman is on the outside. One of the things that we stress with our D lineman is I want you to take an edge. Every kid that plays defensive line, somehow, I don't know why it is, they always mysteriously go to the middle. It's like a moth to a flame. I don't get it. I've been coaching D line for a long time. Was a D lineman. I don't understand why they always go to the middle of the guy. It baffles me. This allows me to say, hey, listen, I need you to get on the outside edge, or I need you to get on the inside edge. Don't ever take a man head up. So what the ring is helping us with, I'll blow the whistle and they go for 30 seconds. Now that's a long time. We try and work to 30 seconds. We start out in the middle of our 5 days of contact, and it's a workout, and it's difficult because they've got to go around this ring as fast as they can, and they're leaning. But now they're getting resistance as they're going. So what it shows them, and it shows me, that guy is really working the edge. If he's trying to work the middle, he's going to pass out. If he's working this edge, as he's coming around, I'll make sure that they get a couple revolutions, and then I'll blow the whistle, now they have to switch. Now they're working their other hand. So they're working the edge, and they're beating the hell out of the outside shoulder and that outside arm. That whistle blows, now they got to come back the other way and work the other arm. So what it's teaching kids is, in that transition, they have to have the ability to use both hands. They have to have the ability to switch and change direction. Because that's exactly what football is. It's about changing direction. Right? You might start out on a slant going one way, suddenly the ball bounces the other way. Now you've got to change position and go. So we do a ton of work with changing direction and you being able to use both hands. So this ring is used every day. The other one that we do with the D-line is what we call the figure 8. And I don't know if you can see it, but we've got a guy holding the pad right here. And I'm not a very good artist, also, I apologize. I kind of looks like SpongeBob. And another guy with the pad right here. So what happens is the D-line is going to start out in an inside position. So I'll tell him, all right, I want you on the left or the right, whatever way you want to go, but we're going to start on the inside. He is going to do a move. I don't care what move he does. He picks the move that he wants to do. So he does, let's say he does an outside rip. He rips around. Now, I want him to do another move. Pick it. Don't care what it is because you have to be able to work. And what happens with kids is they fall into a move that they really like. Your shorter guys might like to rip. Your taller guys might like to snake. To me, it doesn't make a difference, whatever you feel comfortable with. But you have to have the ability to switch up while you're going through the progression or trying to get to the ball. So we start on the outside here. Now we're coming on the inside. He executes that move right here. Now he's going to come back around. And this gives us 2 shots for your guys to come around the backside of the quarterback. So he's gonna do a move right here where he's gonna club that arm. Now, he's gonna fit and finish. He sees that quarterback now, and all our guys are doing are just literally standing with the bag. So, as he comes around on that move, he's gonna come around, back through, here's the outside arm of the quarterback. So what we want them to do is secure the tackle and then tomahawk on the outside arm with the ball. So we start out doing that and we rep that probably 4 or 5 times. Each kid reps it 4 or 5 times. Now all these can get done in a relative short period of time because we're not switching guys. I mean, we're moving guys back and forth and there's a rotation to it, but that gives us the chance to get a lot of our individual work done at full speed. And that's our progression with the D-line. Any questions so far on anything?
Coach, when you're doing the ring, are you just having them work constant pass rush moves?
Constant,
Okay.
constant.
All right.
And it goes a long time, and
Sure.
they hate it.
Sure.
I have a 6'4" kid who thinks he's a basketball player, but he's really gonna be a hell of a defensive end. He looks for every opportunity to get out of that drill every single day. But he doesn't. And he's getting a lot better, but it's pretty taxing on a kid. You really gotta move.